Hey there, this is Freddy Storm, and in this video, I'm going to show you a tactic that you can use to reach your sales target with ease. We're going to cover how reading a sentence every single day will make you hitting target inevitable, and two, why knowing your metrics is the single most important thing if you want to win in sales. Just going to hide this here. So, first off, I want to briefly explain the two reasons that may be causing you to not hit target. And it's either because you're lacking consistency, meaning consistency in your daily efforts, that is your daily calls, the daily emails you send out, the daily follow-ups, so on, or it's the quality of your daily efforts. So how good are you at asking questions on the phone to uncover pains? How good are you at convincing people to spend some time with you, to hop on a sales meeting? How good are you at writing proper short and concise emails that grab attention? All these things that go into quality. However, you can only know which area you're lacking and the reason for you not hitting target if you track things. So you need to track your daily dials, the daily number of calls you're doing, the daily meetings you're booking, and the meetings you're conducting, and the deals you're winning. So you can look at this on a monthly scale. By doing this, if you work at a company, you probably already have these numbers. If you have your own business, you have to start doing this ASAP, because otherwise you're just going to be shooting in the blind, not really know where to focus your energy and your efforts. So if you do know these, then you'll be able to, on a monthly basis, look at the total amount of dials you're doing. You can calculate your booking rate, how many of these dials turn to actual meetings being booked. You can calculate your show rate by seeing how many of these meetings that are booked actually show up, and you can run a proper sales meeting with them. And also how many of these close. Calculating your close rate, show meeting conducted to number of customers closed, to give you all of these really, really good metrics to look at. And when you have them, you don't just want to have them. Of course, you want to use them to something. You want to use them to propel yourself closer to success, closer to becoming an absolute sales god, which is this legend over here. I found him when looking up sales god on Google, and he came up, and I thought he was just a perfect example of somebody who's calm, not worried about the future, chilling. He knows what he needs to do. He's doing it every single day. And if something's lacking, he knows exactly why, because he knows his metrics. Pretty cool, right? On paper, this is amazing. This sounds good. Yeah, I want to be a sales god. I want to look like this dude. But just to give a bit more of a concrete example, we have Johnny over here. And Johnny, he's a sales angel at best. It's a bit scattery. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he isn't. Sometimes he's doing a lot of calls, sometimes he isn't. And for that reason, he's nowhere near sales god status yet. But he could very well become that. And he has told me he's willing to put in the effort. First of all, he has his metrics, which we're going to run through here on a monthly basis. He has 1,000 calls. He's booking 20 out of the 1,000 calls he's doing, completing 16. He's winning 4, but his target is 5. So he's on most months just shy of hitting target, which is such a pain. He's not getting paid as much as he could. He's not feeling like he's reaching his full potential. He feels like a failure at sometimes, which is of course not good. Just a quick note: you can use these either as an SDR if you're just booking. You can see what to tweak here, and if you're also a full cycle or you're just doing just an AE, not booking for yourself, then it's still helpful to know your metrics so you know what to tweak. But Johnny here has actually, which is why I called him a sales angel, pretty solid numbers. He has a booking rate of 2% when doing cold calls. His show rate is 80%, and his close rate is 25%. So we don't want to tweak that for now. Because the lowest hanging fruit is actually just to increasing the number of dials he's doing each month. And that may be easy on paper. Johnny has told me he wants to do this. He wants to level up, sprinting. He's gonna do more than his colleagues. He's gonna do better. He's gonna pull his shit together and actually get this done. So with the metrics in place, he knows what he needs to do. And for that reason, the next month looks like this. Johnny's new metrics. He has done a total of 65 calls per day, which he calculated, because then he knew he would book 28, he would complete 22, he would win 5.5 deals, so he would actually overachieve his target. And this is given that the other metrics, the booking rate, show rate, and close rate, is the same. So pretty cool stuff. By just calling 20 more people each day, he could predictably tell himself, I'm going to do this, and then he hit his target. Of course, in life and with everything. Oh yeah, Johnny here. He's living the dream. He's on full force to becoming the top performer at the company. He knows what needs to be done, and he's actively doing it. But as I was just about to say, looks good on paper, looks good in the stats, looks good in this calculation. But before you get too excited, the charts are not accurate, unfortunately. It's just a rendition of what it would look like if Johnny was doing well. We don't have a chart, we have these numbers. But like with most things, you set a goal, you want to work out more, you want to be a nicer person, you want to chat up more people. But then having that thought to actually doing it consistently, that's a huge difference. Your expectation is you're going to do it, the reality is you don't. Which is why I've made this video, because if it was that easy, I wouldn't have anything I needed to help you with. But since it isn't, I want to share how you actually hit your numbers. And that's done by doing the exact opposite of what this fine woman here is doing. She's sitting there thinking, what's the worst that could happen? And in reality, you want to think, what is the worst that can happen? You want to use a strategy or a technique called negative visualization, where you think about, if I don't do this, what's the absolute worst thing that can happen? How will it impact me on an emotional level? How will it impact the people around me? And you need to remind yourself of this, not just one time after this video where you do the exercise. You want to do it every single day. So how does this look in action? You want to write down the negative impact of not reaching your goals. And you don't have to do this just yet, because I have a resource for you, a Notion document where you can get some inspiration. In fact, there's a template. But just so you understand the concept, this is something I wrote out for myself. If I don't call 65 prospects today, I'll stay stuck barely hitting target every month, which means I'll be a disappointment to myself, my wife, my children, and my team, while also being stressed and anxious every month. Calling 65 new prospects every day is hard, but being a disappointment to me, myself, and everybody around me is harder. Fight with everything inside of you to do this, or you'll never get what you want. Reading this at the start of the day, reading this at the end of the day, reminding yourself what you want to do, what you need to do in order to reach your goal, and why you're doing it is much, much, much more powerful than if you, if you don't, remind yourself at all. So, a template for your own. We have this template. If I don't, 1 today, I'll stay stuck. 2, or stay stuck in 2, which means 3. Doing 4 is hard. 5 is harder. Choose your hard. So, being a disappointment is hard. Being a failure is hard. Not reaching your potential is hard. You got to choose your hard, because there's no good things in life that come easy. There are bad things that come easy if you just let yourself slip and don't take action, but no good things come easy. So you just got to choose what you actually want to struggle with. This is a pretty good thing, struggling with, staying consistent, building that discipline, building that grit to become a freaking sales god, right? So there's 5 different things you need to fill out. You'll have a Notion doc for it. It could be the 50 prospects, it could be cold emails, it could be role-playing objection handling, because you can also focus your sentence on improving the quality. Sorry about that. My son just decided to wake up during his nap time, which is of course my recording time. So just had to take care of that. But what I was talking about is, there's different actions you can take. I took 50 prospects to call, consistency as the main idea for the sentence. It can be any one of these things. You can also use it to improve the quality. By reviewing the call recordings, that will lead to a higher booking rate because you're actively looking to things to improve. But essentially, you need to fill out all these: the action, the current situation you're trying to change. What does that mean where you're stuck? Are you missing bonuses? Are you feeling invisible on the leaderboard? Are you not respected? These things tap into something emotional, which is much better than just looking at a number if you want to actually change, right? So think good about this. What's the consequence of not changing? You can't, hopefully not this, can't quit a job you don't hate, but maybe you don't have any savings. Maybe you can't afford to take your partner on a trip. Maybe you're feeling like you're wasting your 20s or 30s because you're just stuck in something where you can't really figure out what do I actually need to do to become better. And that's what I want to help you with. All of my videos are with the aim of making sales predictable, so you can be like the sales god that I showed you previously. Chill, calm, not worried about the future, getting shit done, doing what you want. And this fourth one is just you want to repeat it. What is it that you're doing? For what reason? Up here. And the fifth one is like, what happens if you don't act? Are you wasting your potential? Are you being average? Are you letting your family down? Not die, for God's sake. You're letting your family down. And staying small or staying stagnant out of fear or laziness. That's not good either. So all these things put together, I'm just going to hold here so my microphone doesn't pick up the wind. All of these things will give you a really good so-called sentence, okay? And your action items should be this. First, start tracking your metrics for God's sake. If you don't know your metrics, you can't really do anything to improve your performance. Secondly, you want to calculate what metric makes the most sense to improve. Is it your dials? If you just bump those up, you're going to reach your targets. Is it the booking rate? Is it the show rate? Whatever it is, by knowing your metrics, you can figure out systematically how to improve, how to get you what you want. And the third thing is duplicate the Notion doc and write out your fearful future statement so you can start bringing more predictability into your life. And I wrote life here because it's not just your job. If you have predictability with your sales journey, then it's going to make you more calm also on a personal level. You're also going to be able to use some of these things with sales, but also with this statement for personal things. So predictability in life is something that is nice, gives you peace of mind. It's also just more fun when you're good at things, when you're progressing and you're feeling that you're moving forward and not just stagnating. So please go ahead and do this if you want to become better at sales, if you want to be more consistent. Go ahead and do this, and then make sure you're looking at it at least once a day before you start working, and ideally also at the end of your day. Just remind yourself, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing it for, this is what's going to happen if I'm not going to do it. And really dig deep when you're writing out this document, because the more painful it is, and of course it has to be linked to the truth, but then the more you're going to feel the urge to actually do something about it, even on the days you're feeling down. But that's it for today's video. I'm sorry for the brief interruption at the end, but I hope you found it useful. Give a like if you thought it was interesting. If there's some things you didn't really think about that made you like, that's actually pretty good. And subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos. Click the notification bell, because then you're going to get a notification right when I upload the next week's video and the one after that. So you will always be in the loop and get all of these juicy insights and advice that has made me become a pretty damn good salesman. Some would even call me a sales god, but I also still have a lot to progress, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do to hit those goals.